Hey guys, it's Mark here and welcome back to Digi Profits. In this video, I'm going to have a look at something that's happened recently that has caused a lot of people to be blindsided in crypto and some people have their life savings, retirement funds just completely just wiped out in a very, very short space of time. And I'm not talking about Luna. I'm not talking about UST. I'm talking about strong block. And I think that in some ways, what's happened here is more sinister than what has happened with UST and Luna. And I know that a lot of people are hurting right now over there. But I do believe that there was a lot of incompetence over there. Whereas here, I do think some of the actions were possibly, and I don't want to say definite, but possibly the evidence shows that they're possibly knowingly done. And that's even worse in some ways than incompetence when someone's being deliberate. And like I say, I don't know for 100% sure. This has not been proven in a court of law. I'm just some guy on YouTube. But I'm going to lay out what I've seen, what my evidence is from what I've seen. And you guys can all decide for yourself, especially if you happen to be a member of Strong Block. And I know some guys support Strong Block solidly, and I know there are some people that are hurting right now. I've bought into Strong Block back in January. I bought 5 Ethereum nodes for about $500 each. I compounded them into a 6th one. And then, well, the rest is history, as we've seen from here. I did make some of my money back, but certainly not even half of it back. It's not the end of the world for me. This is sort of a minor investment for me, but for some people this was a huge portion. And without further ado, I'll get underway. I'll explain all of this stuff and what happened, and then you guys can at least be more informed all about the situation, so that maybe at the very least you'll know what to look for in a project in the future and what not to. Okay, so anyway, what is Strong Block? Well, Strong Block, they are a company that creates Ethereum nodes for you. And formerly they also made sys nodes and matic nodes. They charge 10 strong for a node, or stronger now because they changed their token to stronger, but essentially the same thing. 10 strong for a node, plus $15 a month in maintenance fees. This is paid in Ethereum. So for most people it's $15 a month, but they might be paying $10 to $15 to pay that fee in gas fees as well. So anyway, they pay out, it was 0.1 strong per day. It's now been changed to 0.075 stronger per day. That's what you receive back for your investment. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell. But the assumption is that most people have, and I'll show you some proof that most people have this assumption, is that the rewards are paid out of the real node rewards. So great, we're putting up an Ethereum node out there, right? So we are essentially validators for Ethereum. We're getting, that node is getting a percentage of the transaction fees from all of Ethereum, and that is why Strong Block makes money, and that goes into the token. And of course, obviously, new node holders also are contributing to the node rewards too. So the combination of those two things is why I can get paid such a decent APR, right? And we all believe that Ethereum in the long run is going to go up, so that's great. It's kind of like a mining Ethereum in a way. That's kind of what most people believed or thought getting into this project. The assumption, though, is that the node rewards may taper someday. You know, you've got too many node holders to pay out. It may halve at some point. That's the belief most people have. And I'll share some evidence of that. I mean, there's certainly, that's how it was explained to me when I was doing my research online, and that is how I thought of it until I did further research and discovered a bit too late that things aren't all as they seem. So anyway, we've got Louise Doe. She was reading an article all about how to pay your taxes on your Strong Block earnings, and that's why she'll say something about tax in here. But she says, I've shared this article with so many friends. By the way, this is 4 months ago, okay? I've shared this article with so many friends. I love having my nodes. It's been really rewarding for me. And however, it's baffling to me how many are invested but have no clue on the tax. So this simplifies it so well. So she's commenting about the article. I sometimes use this analogy. Imagine you purchase a property, your node, and you rent it out on the blockchain in this case. Your tenants, they pay rent, rewards, which is taxable, and the property node is then expense, and so are the bills, the gas fees, and you can declare them as expenses. So her understanding of it is, you've purchased your node, so that's what your 10 strong was for. You are now renting it out on the blockchain, like she owns the node, not she's renting it, she owns it. That's what the 10, she said you purchased it, and that's what we all thought. We bought our node, we own it. We now rent it out. We're renting it out on the blockchain, and your tenants pay rewards. So that's the tenants, they're the people that are making Ethereum transactions. The rewards are just coming in from percentage of the gas fees. They come in and they go towards the node holders, i.e. you, and that's getting passed on to you in the form of the stronger token. The property node itself is an expense, and so are the bills, like the gas fees, and obviously the 15 strong per month or whatever. The 15 US dollars a month to help build and maintain the node. But the belief from so many people is simply that they owned the node and that the node is actually worth something. It actually makes some money. Otherwise, what's the point if the node doesn't actually bring in any money? That's not very well explained by Strong at all, that their nodes don't make money. And I will argue later in this video that they're not even what I would class, or most people would class, as real nodes. They are fractional nodes at best. So any ideas of when the next strong halving will take place? So someone's said 7 months ago they're expecting, people were expecting there might be a halving. CEO said it will be a 30-day grace period, and he'll give us 100 notice so that we can make our original investment back. Those were the comments that have been circulating for months and months and months. Going to be a 30-day notice period. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've heard the CEO say that, but I could be wrong. So maybe, maybe he said it, maybe he didn't say it. I'm not 100% sure now, but certainly it was everywhere, all over the internet. You researched it, it said 30 days. Pretty much any private group would say, yeah, they'll tell you. And most people thought it would be a halving, not a cap, not bam, it'll stop at 20. No, the 1.1 strong per day may change to 0.5 at some point with about 30 days notice, so that you've got an idea and you can prepare yourself towards that. Whether you want to either cash out or some of your rewards, or whether you want to compound, that sort of thing. Okay, and in recent times, Strong Block is just, well, not just recent times, throughout the last few months, Strong Block has been repeatedly bragging about their growth in node sales. They just keep boasting, we've reached 530,000 nodes, we were 540,000 nodes, 550,000 nodes, 560,000 nodes. That to me, when I was seeing that happen while the price was just constantly plummeting, and they've been doing this like the whole time I've been with Strong, since back in January, like, it already told me they've got no empathy at all for their holders, and no reading of the room. There is some sort of disconnect on a social level between Strong, the people behind it, and the community. And I know that there's more of a disconnect by going into the Discord group. You know why? If you ask a single negative question, bam, you're kicked out. So the only people in there are cult following, really. They've got a cult following in Discord, because if you're negative, you're gone. So only people that are indoctrinated and have the belief and faith in Strong end up communicating with each other in that particular community, and that's definitely unhealthy in terms of crypto. I understand sometimes some communities are a little bit one-sided, but it's too far. It's almost too far that way as far as that's concerned. So okay, we've been in a downtrend. Bitcoin, stock markets, everything has dropped in price. So, some people say, well, that's what's happened here. Strong's dropped in price, but the whole market's dropped. So what's the big deal? Well, okay, Strong. Let's compare Strong to the other drops. All right, 51%, 53%, 74, 73, 76, 72, 54. These are all sort of blue chip cryptos. What about the crypto coins that were around the same price as Strong back in October as Strong, as Strong was? Okay, like Super Rare, it's gone down 85%. Alien World's gone down 80%. Okay, so, there's definitely been drops in crypto prices of significant levels, but some people can't quite grasp the difference between 80% and 98.72%. So if you had $100,000 and you lose 98.72%, you've got just over $1,000 left. If you lose 80%, you've still got $20,000 left. It might not sound like much compared to 100,000, but it's 20 times more than 1,000. 20 times. It's a 20x on 1,000. That's a massive, massive difference. Okay, it is huge because people got in when it was already had dropped by 50%, and it's still dropped a further 95% from there. It's been pretty crazy, and it has been a lot more than the rest of the market has dropped. And the reason for it is the tokenomics, where the nodes never earned any money. The nodes do not earn money. I can show you that in a moment. The nodes don't earn money, and the money that is being earned is entirely from new node holders. So they needed to always have an increasing rate of new node holders. If the rate stays the same, then they will lose. They don't have enough money coming in to pay the reward, so the price just keeps going down. It's if they've got a constant rate of node holder growth, the price drops. They needed to have a slanting curve upwards of node growth. Otherwise, the price goes down. And early days, that's achievable because you have so few node holders that it is more achievable. So some people will look back at the graphs of the history of Strong, and we'll look at that later, and they will say, hey, look, Mark, the price has gone up before, but there were way less node holders. If you've got 10,000 people to pay out, then by the time you've got 200,000 people to pay out and it's gone there quickly, of course the price is going up. Going from a 20x move in node holders in the space of time that you need to, from 200,000, now you need to go to 4 million node holders in a short space of time to have that sort of growth. It's just impossible, even if Bitcoin had carried on upwards, which it did. Because between here and here, this big drop, Bitcoin went to from 60k to 68k. So it wasn't, Strong went against the grain at the start of its dump. It was going to dump anyway. Okay, so why have Strong Block been so upbeat in all of their posts, despite the colossal losses that their investors have been making? Well, now they've got 560,000 nodes times $15 a month. That's $8.4 million per month that they are making. Of course, they're making less because they've now got rid of about half the nodes, or, because they're getting capped. So are you going to feel sorry for them making $4 million a month? Even if they made nothing, they've already collected tens of millions of dollars. They have funded everything that they want to do for the future, and a lot of us are just collateral damage. So and I own my decisions. I'm not seeking to be a blame shifter here. I blame myself and my decision on this particular project. I can park that to one side and say that's for sure. I'm more concerned about everybody else out there that may not have dollar cost average, may not have diversified into separate investments, may not have an online business and other things. For some people, they believe everything that's told to them, and there's a lot of, they preyed on misunderstanding. And we'll see what I mean. Like, they preyed on people thinking, yes, they are real nodes. So they turn the conversation into, are these real nodes or not? And they try to prove that they're real nodes. They didn't try to prove that these nodes make any money. Because once you know that the nodes make no money, why would you even care if there's a real node or not? You may as well just buy some NFT or something. Like, you don't, it was pointless. So anyway, they've made monumental profits also from selling strong and stronger tokens that they obviously created, so therefore they have in their treasury, and they can sell it and cash it out or put it into crypto, whatever. They also made monumental money there too. And yet they made the shocking announcement, despite all of the bullish news about all these new nodes being created, that this week all ETH node holders will now have their rewards capped at 20 stronger. So they've bought it for 10 and they are capped at 20, and the price has been plummeting. So they've just made it impossible for any of those nodes that are in that to make a profit, that are, unless it was bought way back, last year sometime. If you're in the first 50,000 node holders, maybe you're fine. But a lot of people have been burned by this and by the misinformation, which led to it rising faster than it otherwise would have, which also meant that there was further to fall. So more people got wrecked than otherwise would have if it was more clear and obvious how it all worked. And what you were buying was just you're buying into a project where you hope that more people will buy into the project, and that is the only way it will make money. It's a lot of misinformation. So they've double whammied people. They did not deliver on their promise of giving 30 days notice before any tapering of node rewards. Zero notice. So people could not consider compounding in advance. Some are just gone. Big loss, and their nodes have been removed. And at the current price of Stronger, this is the double whammy. Even if the price does not fall further, by the time you account for the $15 a month for running the node, and also the $10 to $15 a month in gas fees for paying your node fees, node holders don't actually make any money by the time, because it's only 0.075 Stronger per day. So if the price breaks even, you don't make money. So the only way to make money is if that price of that coin goes up. And if that's the case, why not just buy the coin? If you're thinking it's going to go up, at least you can sell the coin. You cannot sell your node. So there's no point. The point in buying a node was that it was printing more and more of it, like over time. So it was an early investment that might pay off in years to come. Not it might pay off a tiny amount in months to come. It's just crazy. But there's enough people that don't understand the tokenomics yet that'll still buy more nodes. And I think that they're just preying on the fact that some people will still own nodes for some time. They'll keep collecting what they can, but they have already collected enough anyway to fund their next phase of evolution, like into running their own blockchain and all of that sort of stuff. And we've been collateral damage in the middle. So here are some other posts from people in the Strongblock community, people that couldn't post in their Discord groups, so formed either their own private Facebook groups or other things. Post on Twitter, other places. I lost $20,000. How about you guys? 12,000. We're in this together. Sorry for everyone. 10,000, 4,000, 17,000, 5,000. I'll tell you in December. So someone's bullish over here. 12,000, 400,000, 6,000. Like 400,000. It's crazy. 15,000, 84,000, 30,000, 16,000. David just bought a new Bentley with your losses. $30,000, $80,000, 25,000, 30,000, 10,000 from my 401k, $100,000, 6,500, 60,000. I've made 60,000, reinvested it, and now I'm back to square one. So someone got in early, but they're back to square one because they reinvested the money they made and it dropped. Now, I know people lose money in crypto. I get that they do, and they make money in crypto over time. But the thing is, when you buy something and you think you've bought it, you still have it. Whereas with this, with your nodes being taken away or capped when most people thought they might halve at some point with a bit of notice, it's like the rug has been swept out from under you. I'm sure that there's some fine print that said that this could happen. It's not a rug pull, but it's very close to it. It's very close when there's enough misunderstanding that essentially, according to people's understanding of the project, and they have not done enough work to make sure that everyone fully understands it, that is what has caused so many people to have all of this happen all at once. We're not talking about people just suddenly noticing that they've lost money over the last few months. We're talking about all these people are posting all in like just, this is all within the same 1 hour period or 2-3 hour period. A lot of people. There are some people that have, they've got the other opinion, and I'll present that side. Like we've got Joe saying, I'm assuming most of y'all are new to crypto. I've never seen so much fucking crying in my life. Even early investors were compounding their rewards, and a lot of them never ROI either. But come on, guys, sitting here crying about it isn't going to help you in any way. The only thing you can do is come up with a new strategy or exit the project. I made 90% of my money back, and I still believe in the project, so I'm going to keep compounding for now. Now look, exit the project. When you exit a crypto project, you can sell your crypto for at least something, right? Coins dropped 80%. You still get 20% of it back if you want to sell at a loss. But here, you can't sell your nodes. The nodes are not sellable. If the node has been capped and you've already been paid out the 20 stronger, you've already made a loss, you can't now sell your node and exit the project. Like, you're already been exited for you. That decision has already been made for you. Like, it's different. And I've made 90% of my money back. Well, here's what some people think. You got 90% back and you dare come here and tell others to stop crying? Congrats, buddy. Like, there are going to be people that have that opinion that, and I get Joe's opinion. I just don't think this is like other crypto. I don't think it is like other crypto and other drops. It's not like the drop in, say, Avalanche. It's not even like the drop in Phantom, where when the developer left and then you had that bullish investor that over-invested, over-borrowed, and ended up having a bit of, a lot of 50 million Phantom got liquidated, and, that it caused a big spiral down. Yeah, that's different, People still own their Phantom, though. People still have belief in the project. It is a different, totally different thing. Totally different. And you've seen Phantom go from $1.07 last year down to 16 cents. Then it went back up. When Bitcoin at its bull run, it went up to $3.40. It can happen with that kind of a coin. It can't happen with this because of the tokenomics were so flawed. So they just decided, but they should have known this anyway. They really should have. But no, they decided, we'll just wipe out all of those people because the only way is they have to fix the tokenomics. So they didn't say, all of those millions of dollars, don't worry, we'll buy back a bunch of it as well. They didn't do anything like that. No, they just went ahead and just nixed a lot of people as collateral damage. Strongblock just announced capping nodes for ETH 20 stronger lifetime. What do you guys think? Okay, 165 votes, which is around 80% of the votes got fucked. That's what people think. We did get 35 people saying bullish. Okay, so they are either people that got in early, or they are people that got in super late and haven't really got to know what's gone on yet, or they are, how do I say it? They are the people in the Discord group that don't get kicked because they are all, what I worry about, are in a bit of a sort of cult situation there. We've got bearish, skeptical, and we got scammed. So you're talking about everyone except for 35 people. So most people feel like they've been scammed. Someone said, I'm just quitting. $30,000 invested to the toilet. David Moss and the team are a joke, lied non-stop. Some may be mad at me for saying so, but I highly doubt anyone will ever trust him again after his actions. This is people posting both on Twitter and on Reddit. There's so many posts. I just thought I'd just read just a few of them so you guys know that you're not alone if you're even feeling this way. What? I spent $20,000. How am I supposed to make any profit on this project long term? I have 7 ETH nodes. Need help. Me too, bud. I put my retirement into this thinking I would have sustained passive income. What a fuck up. RIP to everyone that invested thousands in this horse shit and didn't even get their money back. Forget about passive income. You guys are worse than MetaMask fraudsters. You sucked up thousands of people at once. I am ashamed I ever mentioned this project. And someone said, I apologize for lashing out. I let my anger get the better of me. I try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt and stay positive, but this move by Strongblock has completely changed my viewpoint If my informative posts led you to buy, I'm sorry. Who wants a silver NFT? Which is something you can get on Strongblock. I regret being involved with Strongblock, my worst crypto decision ever. I just paid my monthly fees yesterday, and now my nodes have disappeared. So that someone that's paid all their $15 for each node, and then, bam, their nodes have disappeared because they passed the 20. I don't think they're going to get, I don't know if they'll get that refunded, that 15. I doubt it, though. Literally just pulled the rug with this new update. How do I ROI with this? I bought my node at $800 per token, so that means it's $8,000 per node. Haven't even gotten up to 5 tokens before the price dipped badly. Damn. I've got 180 grand, most of my retirement in nodes at a cost of around 8,000 each. Are you telling me I get a max of 20 tokens at these cheap prices? Are you kidding me? Like, they've pretty much lost most of that money. It is crazy. When I say my opinion on Discord, I get muted for 1 week, even though I just said we got rugged. I get why you might get muted for saying we got rugged. But for some people that just said hi, or some people that just said, did we get rugged? Or, some people just asking a genuine question, bam, kicked out. I bought my nodes for $4,500 and now all I get is a few $100s. What thievery. Okay. So anyway, let's get back to this. $8.4 million a month. And I know that was probably their biggest month. I'm sure that, a few months back I could say they were making $4 million a month. So it's probably more like an average of, $6 million a month for the last few months. But anyway, I know, okay, so most people think, okay, but doesn't that whole $8.4 million a month go towards paying for these $560,000 nodes? Well, if you go over to ethernodes.org or if you go over to Ethereum's site, there are 5,735 ETH nodes in the whole world. 5,735. But they have 560,000 nodes that they have sold. They've sold more nodes than there are nodes, right? Well, it's because their definition of a node is, well, it's more like you'd call a fractional node, so to speak. We'll get into that in a moment, okay? But we'll say this next question. Okay, but these are real nodes, right? So if they are real, then those rewards go to support the price of Strong, and that's what I'm investing in, right? That's what people think. Nope, the ETH nodes don't make money. ETH nodes do not make money. They don't mine ETH. They don't get a portion of the transaction fees. They do help validate the transactions. So if you're willing, out of the goodness of your heart, to put up some ETH nodes, wonderful. But they should have advertised it as you're basically just donating to help support the blockchain. You are not actually, it's not designed to make money. But, that's the problem with the whole thing. They're not upfront about that at all, that this is basically a donation system, essentially. So if you're an ETH validator, you can stake ETH on that node. So if you've got one of those 5,000 nodes, you can stake ETH for a 365-day lockup period. But you've got to put in a minimum of 32 ETH, and it will earn you 12% per year. 12%, not the massive percentages you're expecting out of Strong. Okay? Or you could not have a node at all and just get 3 to 6% for staking ETH on other places online. But anyway, 12% if you own a node, but you've got to put in at least 32 ETH. So even if someone was given a real full node and earned a share of that reward, it would not come close to even paying for 5% of what the reward payouts actually were. And in fact, as many of you are aware, these were never full nodes anyway. So it would likely have accounted for closer to 0% of the node fees, that's if any of it was ever passed on, than 1%. So it wouldn't have even been 1%. The nodes could only be paid for by new nodes being built. And unless those nodes were built at an increasing rate, the price would always tumble. Some people say, but I tested my node. It works. I used their RPC validator on my MetaMask and I processed it through my node. They must have made the nodes. I'll tell you that you could change the number on the end, and as long as you use the web URL that they gave you, it will keep processing. They've got some weird system where they could have infinity nodes, and It's not costing them anymore. It's not real. I'm not saying they have no nodes. I'm just saying that they don't have the 560,000 separate nodes, 560,000 separate computers all doing the stuff. So there was an obscure mentioning of this in an AMA, but most users don't understand this though. They are not full nodes. They're a cluster of nodes that run in the cloud and use an API to produce hundreds of thousands of RPC endpoints. So in short, node owners, you have not bought a node. Clearly not, because now they're capping it. So you've not bought it at all. You have just paid to have the right to rent it. Because the rental fees you $15 a month. You've paid so that you can rent it. And they're not even half nodes, they're not quarter nodes, they're not even 1/100th of a node. With the infrastructure they've set up, they can produce additional RPC endpoints at pretty much no cost. It has just been a massive money spinner for StrongBlock, but not for the vast majority of its users. Like I said, unless you are one of the first. But won't they cost themselves the $15 a month fees now? Aren't they going to lose getting the 8.4 million because they're cutting off a lot of nodes? But they've already received tens of millions of dollars. They don't care. It was gonna have to happen anyway because people were already complaining, hey, wait a minute, the price has dropped so low now that I can't even, if it stayed flat, I'm still losing money. That's because of gas fees and paying the $15 a month. So they knew that they had maxed it. They had reached their pinnacle. Okay? The writing was on the wall. They waited right up until then. The writing was on the wall, despite their ongoing bullish posts, and now they had to find a way to move on without legal ramifications. So they take the hit now. They're still making millions a month in transaction fees from all the nodes they still have, and they pivot to the next phase of their business because they've got all of their funding. They aren't that concerned. They're fine. Their investors knew the risks, and that's just one of those things, right? Look, some people actually did make money with StrongBlock if they got in super early and before Bitcoin made its all-time high, which also helped drag the price up. Node sales were growing at breakneck speed, and Strong entered KuCoin and some other exchanges, so people started trading it, which gave it a bit of a shot in the arm to the price as well. There was that little period where there was that little bit of misunderstanding about how it all worked, and people bought into it even further, which meant that those that got in early were able to go into ROI positive if they took some rewards there. I'd say that there are some folk who are incredibly fortunate with the timing of their entry, but even if the price of Stronger goes up in the future, those subsequent investors whose nodes now taper to zero, well, they cannot profit from those nodes. You actually have to buy new nodes, compile to new nodes. You cannot profit from the nodes that you bought. If you bought in January, February, March, if you bought then, it's not actually possible to profit from those nodes because the price, the price action is so low, even, for the very few amount of Stronger that you will get at the end, unless you buy back into the project, you're not actually they've made it impossible. Whereas if you buy some low market cap altcoin like, say, Alien Worlds, it's a risky investment, but that you can either, one, I could sell at a loss if I had it, or two, I could hold on to it for a long time, and the tokenomics show that it can go up. It could go up to an all-time high. It has that possibility. This did not have the possibility, so they had to now completely change the project because they knew that it had reached the end of its life cycle. So here's the history of StrongBlock. So we've got, if you got in early enough, way back then, yeah, when there's very few node holders, you're talking like hundreds of node holders, of course it's not impossible to keep growing at an increasing rate. So you're getting an increasing rate of node holders, the price is staying relatively flat. Now you've got a faster increase because of Bitcoin going up in price and so forth. Bitcoin had a dump. This didn't drop too much, but because there's not too many node holders yet, it dropped a bit, but not that much, and then it went all the way back up with the next bull run up to the top, but at the same time entering exchanges and so forth, people having misunderstanding about what this thing is, and all of a sudden everyone's like rushing in to buy, but then they just can't maintain the speed at which people are buying, and from then on it was pretty much impossible to go up. You had one couple of people bought a ton of nodes that pushed that price up a little bit, but it was pretty much on a one-way track down, and a lot faster than most of crypto. And then they changed over to a new token, and as we've seen, it went from there all the way down, even further down to where we are at now, about $15. Okay, so another question people say is, isn't all DeFi risky? Yeah, it is. There is high risk and high reward. DeFi is relatively new, but stronger isn't what I would call DeFi. With DeFi, you can always remove your liquidity. You can sell. Okay, you can sell. Like I had some money in on Spooky Swap and Phantom, and I bought in at different prices. I've been quite lucky there, but the last time I bought in, I averaged in at around $1. Well, I bought in at $1.80, then $1.60, then at $1.05, and then it averaged to be about $1.15, and then I actually sold at $1.65, and then the price plummeted. I got a bit fortunate there, but as it was plummeting, I would have been able to sell. You cannot sell your nodes. So if you saw the price plummeting, yeah, you could sell some of the rewards that you're getting per day, the 0.075 stronger per day, but one, you got to pay the gas fees, and two, you cannot sell the node itself. So, even if I hadn't gotten lucky with Phantom, I could have gone, well, the price has dropped to here, I'll take it out now, before I get back to my original price point. So that was earning me money in Boo, like I was getting the Boo token as rewards in that particular case. I'm just saying that at least you have the option of selling. You do not have the option of selling with Strong. So at best, when people thought that they were purchasing nodes, they actually weren't. They were buying a fractional node, and that's a kind way of calling it. These nodes earned nothing. The only money that was being paid to them was from new node holders, not from the nodes itself. I won't use the P word with this. I think a lot of you guys know what that is. I think that it is because you could use that with a lot of crypto in some ways, but the difference here is that you can't even sell the thing, and that's because they knew that their tokenomics wouldn't work because their nodes don't make money. They need all the money to go to new node holders to help pay them out. That's why, because otherwise any reasonable system would allow you to sell your nodes if that node is worth anything. That's should be the case. With NFTs, it's the case. If you're in a decent DeFi program that has NFTs and stuff like that, you can buy an NFT that can do something, the equivalent of what the nodes do. It might be mining some sort of rewards with that NFT, but you can sell that NFT to another member of the community if you want to get out while Bitcoin's, having a price decline, the overall market's going down. If you think that that's a good idea, you can sell it. You cannot sell your nodes. So it was a totally different ball game that was being played here. A lot of misinformation occurred, and I own my own mistakes. I definitely am not. I'm not probably as upset as some people are, because it was only a small fraction of what I have in crypto and in business. I never go all in. Always save for the possibility that things could drop a lot further than you think, especially in a bear market. Make sure you got multiple sources of income. Crypto's one thing. You can, I'm going to produce other videos on this channel showing how to make money from Amazon Kindle books, how to make money as an affiliate marketer, how to do drop shipping and other things. I'll share other stuff as well as the crypto stuff that I'm doing as well. You want to be diversified. Okay, but that doesn't stop the fact that there was, I believe, a lot of knowing misinformation that went out with this, that has been going on with this project a total lack of empathy and of reading the room with the way they have marketed it, the way that they have run their community, and so forth. And there's been a lot of people get hurt by this. And, you know, I definitely feel for any of you guys that have got caught up in this, if you've been overexposed and so forth with this, I definitely feel bad for you. And I would hope that it hasn't turned you off the wider world of crypto. So anyway, if you like this video, please press the like button. If you've got comments, feel free to comment. If you disagree with me, feel free to dislike. Feel free to say why I'm wrong. I mean, if I've got this all wrong somehow, feel free to lay your argument out there in the comments. Like, I'm not having my head in the sand. I'm trying to see both sides. I just literally haven't been able to see enough or any evidence. I can see how strong block the future project may go well. I just can't see how they haven't completely screwed and used as collateral damage by just saying, nope, we're just not going to pay you anymore. All the people that bought, I'll find the graph again, all the people that bought between about here and here, basically, most of these people, and even a lot of these people, if they compounded for a little period of time, so I can't see how they didn't do that, and how they probably didn't, or they already knew it they probably knew it from here even. They probably knew it a long time out what was going to happen, and no notice was given. I mean, they already had the programming ready to do the capping. They knew in advance. Because you can see how much has been capped, how much stronger you've been paid out as a portion of the cap. It shows in there in the system. So they had the programming ready for that. So they knew they were going to cap it, but they didn't give any notice, no warning, no chance to make a decision for yourself. And that's, to me, that's what I found shocking about this. But anyway, that's it for this particular video. Most of my videos are not like this. They're not sort of exposés on what's been going on with something negative. There's a lot of, I've been talking about a DeFi game project that I happen to be in that is relatively new. I've been talking about stuff to do with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I'll talk about other altcoins in the future, and like I said, other forms of online income. But in this particular case, I was particularly shocked by what happened, what went down, and I thought I would just lay out to you guys like the full story of what I've seen go on here. All right, that's it from me. Bye for now, everybody.